Every single day, without even realizing it, you're writing something into your baby's mind that will stay with them forever. Not just memories, not just feelings, something deeper, the invisible foundation of who they will become. And most parents have absolutely no idea this is happening. Here is what the science tells us. Your baby's brain, right now, is forming more than 1 million new neural connections every single second. 1 million. And the single most powerful force shaping those connections is not a toy, not a class, not an enrichment program. It is you. Specifically, it is the 10 ordinary moments you share with your baby every single day, the ones you probably don't even think twice about. Some of these will make you smile, some will make you pause and remember something you did this morning in a completely new way. And one of them, by the time we reach the end of this video, will change how you see the very last moment of your baby's day forever. Stay with me until the end, because number 10 is the one that will stay with you long after you close this video. Let's start with number 1, the way you look at them when they enter the room. Think about the last time your baby came into your line of sight. Maybe they crawled around the corner, maybe someone carried them in, maybe they just opened their eyes and found you already there. That tiny fraction of a second, the expression that arrives on your face before you even decide to have it, is being recorded. Developmental researchers at Harvard University Center on the Developing Child have described this as one of the most powerful forms of emotional imprinting in early human development. When your baby sees your face light up at the sight of them, their brain releases a near-instant cocktail of oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. They are learning something foundational. My presence brings joy. I am wanted here. I belong. That expression, repeated across thousands of ordinary moments, is directly linked to what psychologists call positive self-worth baseline. Babies whose caregivers consistently light up at the sight of them grow into adults who carry a quiet internal belief that their presence is a gift. Let your face light up every single time. It is the most truthful thing you will ever say to them without words. Number 2, the way you speak their name. Think about the last time you said your baby's name softly. That moment is doing something inside your baby's brain that research identifies as one of the earliest forms of identity formation. When your baby hears their name in your voice, with whatever feeling you carry when you say it, their brain activates the same regions tied to pleasure, safety, and self-recognition. Studies on early childhood emotional memory show that the way a baby's name is spoken during the first 12 months creates a neurological pattern that stays active for decades. It becomes the emotional signature of who they are. Babies whose names are spoken with soft, loving tones many times a day show stronger development in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for empathy, emotional regulation, and self-control, than babies whose names are used mostly for correction. Say their name often. Say it like the most beautiful word you have ever spoken, because to them it already is. Number 3, whether you put your phone down when they look up at you. This is going to land differently for different people, and I want you to hear it not as judgment, because this is genuinely hard in the world we live in, but as information. Researchers call this the still face effect. Building on the famous still face experiment by Dr. Edward Tronick, studies have shown that when a baby looks at a caregiver and receives a blank, unresponsive expression, their cortisol spikes. Their heart rate rises, they try to re-engage, and if the absence continues, they withdraw. The neurological result of a parent absorbed in a phone is almost identical. Babies cannot tell the difference, but every single time you put your phone down and meet their eyes, you complete what Harvard researchers have identified as a serve and return interaction. Perhaps the single most important experience for healthy brain development in the first year. You do not have to be perfect, but every time you choose their eyes over the screen, you are shaping something that will echo in their development for years. Number 4. How you respond when they reach for you. Before babies can speak, they speak with their bodies. A lifted arm, a stretched hand, a small body leaning toward you. These are not random movements. They are your baby's earliest language. Decades of attachment research, beginning with the foundational work of John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth, has shown that babies who receive consistent responsive attention when they reach for their caregivers develop secure attachment. And secure attachment is the single strongest predictor we have in developmental science for long-term mental health, relationship quality, and emotional resilience. When you pick them up when they reach, you are teaching their nervous system something fundamental. The world responds to me. I am not alone. My signals matter. That belief, wired in during the first 12 months, becomes the template for how they engage with every relationship that follows. Respond to the reach. You're shaping the architecture of how they will love and be loved for the rest of their life. Number 5. The rhythm of your touch. Skin to skin. The warmth of your hand on their back. The way you support their head when you lift them. All of it is neurological input of the highest order. Research at the Touch Research Institute at the University of Miami has shown that babies who receive consistent gentle touch show accelerated development of the myelin sheath, the protective coating around nerve fibers that determines how fast and efficiently the nervous system operates. In simple terms, touch makes your baby's brain work better. Before your baby has the cognitive tools to regulate themselves, touch is how they regulate. When you are calm and your hands are slow and steady, your baby's autonomic nervous system literally synchronizes with yours. Researchers call this physiological co-regulation. Your heartbeat, your breathing, your body temperature. They are your baby's external regulator. When you hold them, you are being their nervous system until they can run it themselves. If something in this video is landing for you, take 2 seconds to subscribe. I make videos every week designed to help you understand what your baby is actually experiencing beneath the surface. The next one goes even deeper into what your baby knows about you that you don't know about yourself. Number 6. The tone of your voice when you are tired, not the words. The tone. Babies under 12 months have no real capacity to understand language semantically, but they have an extraordinary capacity, documented as early as 4 months of age, to detect emotional information in vocal tone. They are reading your voice the way you read a face. When your voice goes tight, even while saying completely neutral words, your baby's amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, activates. Not because they understand that you're tired, but because their biology reads the acoustic properties of your voice as environmental data. When you notice you are wound tight, taking even 30 seconds to slow your breathing and soften your voice before you speak to your baby is one of the most powerful things you can do for their developing nervous system. Your voice is their emotional weather forecast. Make it as warm as you can, as often as you can. Number 7. The face you bring to their small, scary moments. Your baby startles, they bump their head, something falls near them, and before they have even processed what happened, they look at you. Developmental psychologists call this social referencing. Starting around 9 months of age, babies systematically look to their caregiver's face after any alarming event to determine how to interpret it. If your face shows panic, their brain reads it as confirmation that something catastrophic has happened and their distress escalates. If your face shows calm reassurance, a soft smile, a quiet "you're okay," their brain registers the moment as manageable and their recovery is measurably faster. This is how babies begin to build their own emotional regulation. They borrow yours before they develop their own. The calm you bring to the small, scary moments of their day is the template for how they will handle fear for the rest of their life. Number 8. The sounds of your home. The acoustic environment your baby lives in is not background noise to them. It is primary sensory input. Research at the University of Washington's Institute for Learning and Brain Sciences, led by Dr. Patricia Kuhl, has shown that babies are absorbing the melodic and phonetic patterns of their environment at a rate that is almost difficult to comprehend. By 6 months, a baby raised in an English-speaking home already shows a different brain response to English sounds versus foreign sounds. Music specifically activates motor, auditory, and emotional brain systems simultaneously, more brain regions at once than almost any other stimulus. Babies exposed to regular music in the first year show stronger auditory processing, better emotional regulation, and greater spatial reasoning by early childhood. The lullaby you sing without thinking, the music playing while you cook, the way you hum as you carry them through the house, all of it is building auditory architecture in a brain that is listening to everything. Number 9. The way you talk to them when they cannot yet talk back. You narrate the world. You ask them questions they cannot answer. You describe what you are doing. You talk to them with that instinctive rise and fall of pitch that linguists call motherese, that universal pattern that appears in every human culture ever studied. The landmark research of Hart and Risley established that the number of words a baby hears in the first 3 years of life is among the strongest predictors of their vocabulary, reading ability, and academic achievement at age 10. But it is not just quantity, it is contingent talk. The words that matter most are the ones that respond to what your baby is doing, looking at, or trying to communicate. When you follow their gaze and name what they see, when you respond to their babble as if it is conversation, you're offering the most powerful form of language input in existence. Talk to them. Tell them everything. Their brain is building a language system that will carry them for the rest of their life. And now we arrive at number 10. This is the one. The moment you hold them just before they fall asleep, every single night in whatever form it takes, a feed, a rocking, a song, a quiet hold, there is a small window just before your baby crosses from wakefulness into sleep where they enter a state of profound neurological openness. The science calls it the hypnagogic state, and in terms of emotional memory, it is one of the most powerful windows in the entire human day. What your baby feels in that moment, the warmth of your arms, the rhythm of your breathing, the sound of your voice, the steady beat of your heart, is encoded with extraordinary depth. Sleep consolidates memory, and the last emotional input before sleep is among the final things processed by the brain before it begins its nightly work. The warmth of your body, the softness of your voice, the feeling of being held and safe and loved, that is not just a nice end to the day. That is what your baby carries into the dark. That is what their brain consolidates and keeps. Researchers have identified the consistent emotional quality of sleep transitions as one of the factors most strongly tied to a child's long-term sense of internal safety. Not safety in the physical sense, safety in the deepest sense. The baseline belief wired into the nervous system that the world is fundamentally okay and that they are loved. You are the last thing your baby feels before they enter sleep. You are what they carry into the dark every single night. You are giving them something no researcher can fully measure and no amount of money can buy. You're giving them the feeling of being loved without condition, and that, the science tells us clearly, is the thing that stays with them longest. Not the toys, not the classes, not the perfectly timed milestones. The warmth of you in the dark when they needed to feel safe. That is what remains. So the next time you're sitting in a quiet room at 11 at night, exhausted, wondering if any of this actually matters, it matters more than you will ever fully know. Tell me in the comments, which one of these 10 moments hit you hardest? Which one are you going to hold a little tighter tomorrow? I read every single one. And if this video gave you something, share it with another parent who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next one.